Hello, family. The story of Abraham and Sarah is an amazing tale about a miracle that God brought forth for Abraham and Sarah, two seasoned saints. Abraham, nearly 100, Sarah, 90. But God decided to do a great thing through them and to make them the patriarchs of many nations. God blessed Abraham by making a covenant with Abraham. And in the making of that covenant, God promised that God was going to keep God's end of the deal, and God did. Now, it's important for us to understand that as we think about this relationship between God and Abraham, every covenant includes relationship. We talked about that last week. Every covenant includes a change of relationship. And so God promised to bless Abraham's progeny for years and years and years to come. And that includes all of us. That includes each and every one of us. So I want to suggest to you four things that we learn from the story of Abraham and Sarah and how God kept God's promise. God kept God's end of the deal with them. The first thing I want to say to you is don't give up on God, because God never gives up on you. Don't think that you're too old or too young. Don't ever think that you don't have what you need or that somehow it's not your time. Don't give up on God, because God never gives up on you. God is always there waiting to bring you to that place that God has called you to, so that God can bless you, so that God can elevate you, so that God can open doors of opportunity for you and prosper you. Second thing I want to remind you of is this: God moves in miracles. God moves in miracles. What God did through Abraham and Sarah allowed this seasoned couple to have a child was nothing but a miracle. But God works in miracles every day. If you woke up this morning, that was a miracle. If you can hear what I'm saying right now, that's a miracle. If you can see me right now, that's a miracle. The fact that God allows you to put one foot in front of another, or the fact that God allows you to even have breath in your lungs, it's a miracle. God moves in miracles, and God wants to work a miracle in your life. I told our church just earlier that God's miracle working power has been made evident in my life over and over and over again. And so I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that God moves in miracles. But the wonderful thing about God is that God has promised us that God will always deliver, because it's never too late. With men, it's impossible. With God, all things are possible. For God, anything can happen at any time. Some of us believe that we're beyond the possibility of change. Some of us believe that we can't achieve or excel or do any of the things that we want to do because it's too late. But I came here to tell you today, it's never too late. It is never too late. There's always time with God. There is always an opportunity. Where there is life, there is hope. Then I want to suggest this to you. Even when you turn your back on God, God never turns God's back on you. You can turn completely around and close your eyes and say, God, I don't want you in my life. I just walk away from you. Leave me alone. And you can stay there in that position for years. You can move in a new direction that you think is something that you're leading and you're directing. You can change your mindset about your faith and your belief. But guess what? When you stop and turn back around, God is still standing there. Because even when you turn your back on God, God never turns God's back on you. So keep on trusting, keep on believing, keep on hoping. Because remember this, God is always there. Even in your darkest hour, God is always there. When you slip up, mess up, God is always there. And God doesn't come with judgment. God doesn't come with condemnation. God comes with mercy and grace and forgiveness. That's the God we serve. That's the amazing God who we call our own. So I want you to understand, with God, a deal's a deal. God promised Abraham and Sarah, and And God's promising you today, God will never leave you or forsake you, because with God, a deal's a deal.